Singapore has always been known as a land of strict rules, flawless infrastructure, and a highly organized society. But as we step into 2026, the Lion City is not just maintaining its reputation, it's taking it to a whole new level. If you think you know Singapore, think again. There are rules, policies, and lifestyle changes emerging in 2026 that most tourists, expatriates, and even residents are unaware of. These are not just minor adjustments, they are part of Singapore's ambitious plan to become a smarter, safer, and more sustainable nation. From stricter environmental regulations to new tech-driven governance, Singapore is redefining what it means to live, work, and thrive in a city-state. In this video, we'll uncover the most important new rules you need to know about if you're planning to move, work, or even visit Singapore in 2026. Trust me, missing these could lead to serious fines, misunderstandings, or even legal issues. Singapore is no stranger to rules. From chewing gum restrictions to littering fines, the city-state has always maintained order through strict law enforcement. However, 2026 introduces a new era where digital surveillance, smart city technology, and eco-conscious policies play a central role. Whether you are an expatriate seeking opportunities, a tourist hoping for a hassle-free visit, or a resident trying to navigate everyday life, understanding these new regulations is crucial. Some rules might feel restrictive, while others are designed to enhance your quality of life and environmental responsibility. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to expect and how to adapt to Singapore 2026 without any trouble. Digital ID and smart surveillance requirements. Singapore has always been a tech-savvy nation, but in 2026, the city is taking digital governance to unprecedented levels. Every resident and foreign worker is now required to have a mandatory digital ID linked to government services, public transport, and even healthcare systems. This digital ID is more than just an identification tool, it's a way for authorities to track compliance with new regulations, from tax filings to environmental practices. The smart surveillance system, integrated with AI analytics, is capable of monitoring everything from traffic violations to public littering and even social behavior in certain public spaces. For tourists, this means that cameras equipped with AI can detect illegal parking, jaywalking, or entering restricted zones, and automatically issue fines. Residents and expatriates should be especially cautious, as failing to comply with rules monitored through smart surveillance could result in penalties that are higher than ever before. While some see this as an invasion of privacy, Singapore positions it as a method to ensure safety, efficiency, and fairness. The key takeaway? Always carry your digital ID, follow traffic and public conduct laws, and avoid any behavior that could be flagged by automated monitoring. Environmental rules get tougher. Singapore is pushing hard toward its 2030 sustainability goals, and 2026 introduces strict environmental regulations that will affect everyone. The government is targeting a reduction in single-use plastics, stricter waste segregation rules, and a mandatory carbon footprint reporting system for businesses and large households. For individuals, this means heavy fines for improper recycling, littering, and the misuse of public waste bins. Restaurants and cafes are now required to charge extra for disposable cutlery and packaging, and delivery platforms are expected to follow strict eco-friendly standards. Even small actions, like using non-recyclable materials in packaging or ignoring recycling protocols, can attract penalties. For residents, there's also a push towards sustainable living. Buildings are now inspected for energy efficiency, and homeowners may face fines if they fail to comply with water-saving measures, energy-saving lighting, or solar panel mandates. Singapore 2026 is not just a city of cleanliness, it's a city demanding active environmental responsibility. Transportation and vehicle restrictions. Singapore has long been a model for efficient public transportation, but 2026 introduces new rules to curb traffic congestion and reduce pollution. Personal vehicles now face higher road taxes, stricter ERP, electronic road pricing, rates, and additional restrictions on peak hour usage. Electric vehicles are heavily promoted, but they must meet strict emission and battery recycling standards. For those using ride-hailing services, surge pricing has been modified according to new congestion zones. Biking and e-scooter rules have also changed. Helmets are mandatory in more areas, speed limits are strictly enforced, and illegal parking on sidewalks can now lead to significant fines. Even public transport is under tighter regulation. Using public transport without a valid digital ID scan can result in fines, and fare evasion is penalized more strictly than before. Singapore 2026 is making sure that mobility is smart, safe, and environmentally responsible. Health and wellness policies. Singapore has always been at the forefront of public health, and 2026 brings new rules designed to improve overall health and safety. Mandatory health screenings for certain jobs are now enforced, and vaccination tracking through digital IDs is standard practice. Fitness and wellness regulations also extend into public spaces. Parks, swimming pools, and recreational areas now have stricter hygiene and usage standards. Smoking zones are further reduced, and vaping in public spaces is heavily restricted. Even private clubs and gyms are expected to comply with enhanced safety measures, and violations can lead to significant penalties. These health-focused regulations aim to make Singapore one of the healthiest cities globally while maintaining public safety. Residents and visitors should prioritize compliance to avoid fines or legal issues. New workplace and business rules. Singapore 2026 introduces significant changes in labor laws and business regulations. Remote work policies are now formally recognized, but companies must track employee working hours through digital IDs. This ensures that labor regulations are enforced, including overtime limits, mandatory breaks, and fair pay standards. Businesses are also required to comply with stricter environmental standards, digital taxation rules, and mandatory corporate social responsibility reporting. Failure to comply can result in heavy fines or business license suspension. Even freelancers and self-employed individuals must now report income through digital systems for taxation purposes. For foreign workers, work pass regulations have become stricter, with enhanced monitoring of contract compliance and employment conditions. Singapore is aiming to ensure that its workforce is productive, ethical, and accountable in every sector. Public behavior and social conduct. Singapore is known for its emphasis on social discipline, but 2026 introduces new rules for public behavior. Digital surveillance now tracks littering, improper use of public facilities, and even verbal abuse or harassment in designated areas. Minor offenses can now result in instant fines via digital systems. Social norms around gender equality, cultural respect, and inclusivity are now legally reinforced. Harassment, discrimination, or offensive behavior in public spaces can lead to fines or even jail terms. Tourists, residents, and expatriates need to be aware that Singapore 2026 expects absolute adherence to both traditional and modern codes of conduct, and ignorance of the law is no excuse. Singapore 2026 is more than a city-state. It is a glimpse into the future of urban living. With its digital ID systems, strict environmental and social regulations, transportation reforms, and advanced health and workplace policies, Singapore is setting a global benchmark for smart, sustainable, and disciplined living. While some rules may seem restrictive, they are designed to enhance quality of life, ensure safety, and protect the environment for future generations. For tourists, residents, and expatriates alike, understanding these new rules is not optional, it's essential. Singapore is not just about skyscrapers, luxury malls, or beautiful gardens. It is a city that demands responsibility, digital awareness, and compliance in every sphere of life. By adapting to these changes, you can enjoy all that Singapore has to offer while avoiding fines, legal issues, or social misunderstandings. In 2026, Singapore is showing the world what a truly advanced, safe, and sustainable city looks like. The question is, Are you ready to follow the rules and be part of this extraordinary transformation?